Okay, so there's one thing that I forgot to talk about in the last video, and that is the contributions of different terms to the test. So when you compute your chi-square statistic by hand, like in lecture, you have to do the observed minus the expected squared over the expected and sum up all of those numbers. So there's a term for every cell in your table. And we might be interested in knowing which of those cells, which of those numbers was the biggest, because that would mean that that's the thing that contributed the most to our chi-square statistic, that made our distribution look the most different from the null. And there's a couple different ways that we could do this. I think the easiest way is if we save our test with a name. I think we did this when we were using linear regression, where we would make a name and then the model would get saved into our environment. So I'm going to call this C1 for chi-square, and I'm just going to put the exact same test that I had previously, that chi-square test. I'm just going to say C1 gets, with the assignment operator, all of that chi-square test stuff. And then if I hit play, nothing prints out, but now I have C1 in my environment. And that lets me get at stuff that's sort of comes along with that model or that test. You could click on it. I don't think this is very easy to see, so I usually don't do that. But something that you might be interested in is looking at the residuals. So if I click the play button on the residuals, now I get the table of the difference between the observed and the expected. This isn't exactly the contribution, but it will show you which things were the most different. And so you want to look for the pieces that are the largest, either the biggest positive number or the biggest negative number. So let's see, 3.44, well, 3.9 is bigger than that. Ooh, 6.8, that's bigger. 7.76, that might be our winner. Let's see, is there anything positive or negative that is larger in absolute value? No. So it looks like the biggest difference is in the married, very happy category. So that's the cell with the largest contribution. That's the married, very happy cell. So that's how you can tell the contributions.